Oh, what is that
Hey,
static?
I don't know. You hear static?
I hear a little static.
Still hear it?
How do I sound? Down.
Now you're muted.
Now let me clear my throat. Sound good?
We're recording, so I hope you
We're
sound good.
live.
We're live. We are live. That's buffer.
So, Luca Nation, welcome back to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo Mine. I fooled you. You thought I wasn't prepared, but I'm very prepared. Today, we're going to talk about a few things. I actually have a lemon to give out of my own.
Oh no.
So this is one where maybe you guys in Australia, you give them out like candy. Maybe take notes of the right way to do it here, guys. So stay tuned in a few minutes. This is going to be a good lemon. First, just want to let Luca Tiger NFT holders know I am sending out the rewards this week. Please be patient. Just a quick update. Everyone's going to get it. Just takes a little bit of time. PayPal's its own thing. So just stay patient. So here is my lemon of the week. And
Oh, you're giving a lemon of the week.
I
Can't
am.
we call it? Can we call it like something else? Like, do we really want to make it a lemon? Do we? Is it like Can we call it like a bloomin' onion of the week? Can we call it like a? No.
Well, bloomin' onion's delicious. A lemon's like bitter. It leaves a
It's
bitter
true.
taste in your mouth.
It's true.
And
So,
it does, Cage, because scenarios like this really do leave a bitter taste in people's mouths. So we all have either had a Panini redemption out, we know someone with a Panini redemption out,
jeez, I know where you're going.
right? And we can't make sense of it, right? Because we do love Panini as a company. We like their products, but we can't make sense of why are my cards outstanding from 7 years ago? And there's a situation, Cage, and I wish it wasn't the case, but in my opinion, this is how a lemon should be done. So a community member reached out to me. He's been waiting on a redemption for 7 years, and here's the card: a Westbrook Gold Logo Man auto. And guys,
Pretty
this
nice
is where
card.
we have to remember: not everyone is an investor. Some people are just collectors. And this guy's profile is literally Westbrook's #1 collector. So this guy just loves Westbrook cards. So Panini goes, and after 7 years, they return, probably maybe as a joke, given that Jokic and his brothers are fighting the Markieff Morris twins. But they send him National Treasures Jokic at a 49 card. And something like that, and this is my wish, it's not to kind of poop on Panini. I do wish Panini would listen. We've had them on the show, and they would make this right, because here's what it comes down to, in my opinion, Cage, is getting to know your customer and learning what they're all about and learning that not every customer is the same. So maybe Panini's thinking, here's a similar comp card. This guy's going to sell it. Who cares? But if you get to know your customers and invest in customer service, and it's an investment because it will pay off in the future, you'll get to know what your true customers, your true fans are all about. And something little like that, that's how you lose fans. That's how you lose credibility. That's how you lose your reputation, because this guy's a huge Westbrook collector, and here you are sending him Jokic cards after 7 years of waiting without just simply reaching out and saying, hey, man, we don't have this right now in stock. We know you're a huge Westbrook collector because we went on your Instagram. Here's what we got for you. That's how business needs to be done if we want this hobby to win. So I'm actually not in an upset mood. I think I'm being very kind of diplomatic and right down the middle. It's just kind of my wish for the hobby is to get to know the businesses and hobby. If they get to know their customers, they're going to win, man. They're going to win so much.
So who's the lemon?
Panini.
Jokic for not being as good as Westbrook. I mean, like, who's the lemon? Oh, Panini's the lemon.
Panini, because just you have to invest in customer service and get to know your customers.
All right. Well, I mean,
maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. I could tell you don't love when I go on that, but what's your take on this? This guy's been waiting 7 years for a redemption.
so that's been the way it's been forever. I got to tell you, if you guys look in my Twitter, I mean, if you scroll down, you're going to be looking far back. But I had a redemption with Topps for a really long time. It was a Ronda Rousey grill gear. It was supposed to be actual fight-used mouthpiece. Yeah, one-on-ones. They did them for the fighters and stuff like that. It's supposed to be like a fighter-used grill gear. Really sick piece. And I remember, I paid for the redemption. I redeemed it. I waited for years for this thing. Literally years for this thing. And multiple times they tried to just send a replacement. I get an email, we're sending you a replacement. And I'm like, I don't want a replacement. Like, I would immediately email back. And they say, okay, whatever, you name it, the whole darn. Eventually, it took years. I got the grill gear. I mean, there's a picture of it if you guys want to check out my, way back in the day in Twitter. And it wasn't even used. It was just they went to Modell's or whatever it is and bought a mouthpiece and threw it in there. I'm sure it had nothing, no use, no nothing.
Well, I assume it's like it's a little bit like NFT land. You make promises that you're not sure if you can or can't keep, and it makes sense. I don't blame them, but you could still reach out and make it right. Say, hey, we don't have this card or we don't have this relic. Here's what we can do for you. Here's a few options. We know you're a huge fan of X, Y, and Z. That you're gonna win a customer for life.
Well, is it because when this card came out, the logo men were game-worn jerseys, and you were supposed to get the logo man from a game-worn jersey and Russ's auto, and now Panini simply can't get actual game-used stuff anymore? Is that what's going on? I mean, what's the deal here?
If I'm a huge Westbrook collector and I've been waiting 7 years, I want my logo man auto of Westbrook. Like, that's my grail card. I don't want a Jokic out of 39 national treasures. Like, that's not where I'm at on it.
I mean, listen, it's they would win second place for Lemon of the Week for me this week. It would probably be the real Lemon of the Week has to be the double coverage guys for giving you a Lemon award for saying that Steph Curry was not awesome. Because, I mean, it's great. You can say, be quiet, or Steph Curry can say, look at me, I'm Sandra D, and drop 50 points with 9 threes and 10 assists. So, I mean, say what you want. Hot take, no take. Golden State Warriors.
Dude, I don't know why betting on Steph Curry, who's the greatest shooter of all time, is a hot take. Like, have we not seen him play for the last 10 years? He's literally incredible. He's changed the game. There are kids that go out and they're like Curry now. Like, he's literally changed the game where people shoot from the logo. So, huge fan, man. Big Curry fan. I got to tell you, Cage.
Yo.
Anytime. So, I want to talk about a weird topic. It's super weird, but
is it?
I'll bring it up.
Are you finally going to tell everybody about the burning sensation?
No. Do you know the Raptors starting lineup?
I can't name their starting five off the top of my head. You want to name the Orlando Magic starting five?
No. Well, it's fascinating to me because it's like this. We've really entered into small ball. They have Pascal Siakam at center.
I like
Scotty Barnes is small forward. OG Anunoby, Gary Trent, and I always forget the little guy. Why can't I remember his name? You know who I'm talking about. Fred VanVleet.
Van Vliet. FVV.
That's their starting lineup, man. Pascal Siakam, 6'7" center.
Yeah.
No take on that? No interest? I
mean, a lot of teams are small and they're successful. A lot of teams are doing well, right? I mean, how tall is Mo Bamba?
I wouldn't say the Orlando Magic are a successful team.
Why? Their starting five is one of the best starting five in the league. My play comes from the Orlando Magic. That's why.
You're going Cole Anthony? You like the little swag?
I am going Cole Anthony.
Facts.
I don't forget. I remember everything.
Facts.
Yeah. I like him, man. I mean, he brings a little extra. Yeah, he brings a little extra swag to the game. But I mean, last year was 12 points or whatever per game, and now he's like 20. But I don't want to take away. Talk about the Raptors. Go.
Well, my plays from the Raptors, why I brought that up.
Is it Pascal Siakam?
It's OG. I told you guys about him on Sunday.
Yeah, OG.
But it's just, man, it's more about like the NBA. I like watching how the NBA evolves. Like, I've never seen a starting lineup like that, and they're going to be successsuccessful.
Be honest. You consider yourself an original gangster, and that's why you like OG. It really has nothing to do with his game. No?
I do. So it's funny when the Markieff brothers try to fight like Eastern Europeans. I'm like, I don't think you guys understand what they've gone through. Like,
wait. I have to stop. Did you call them the Markieff brothers?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's it. From now on, the Morrises are the Markieff brothers. The end. Done. You now have a new name.
That was a cheap shot. Like, I don't know why Morris straight up elbowed him in the ribs. That's painful.
Listen, it's a little roundabout. The guy Morris, I mean, that's the way he plays. So he got he got a little bit of his own medicine. So it happens.
I've never seen anybody shoulder check anybody. It was like a breaststroke.
You like that?
And he went
You gotta
flying.
watch. Well, I mean, listen, he definitely went flying because he wasn't expecting it. But that's a cool, like a little shoulder shimmy. You know, sometimes you see him in UFC fights when the guys are up against a cage and they kind of stuck, and the guy will shoulder somebody into the face.
Dude, what's going on with this like ref and the Bears thing? I didn't watch the game yesterday because I don't watch shitty, terrible games.
Oh, I just had some bad. I mean, listen, Bears fans need a reason to explain why they lost, and they say it was the ref. I mean,
I watched the highlight. I didn't watch the game. The ref clearly backs into him and then throws the flag.
it happens, man. I mean, look, anybody who thinks that the refs just don't get in the way every once in a while and don't impact the game, I think his name was Orlando Brown, right? You got to check out the video of this.
I hate when you shrug big things off. Like, you're like, yeah, that happens. Like, the ref booty checks the player and then throws a flag. That happens.
So I'm pretty sure his name was Orlando Brown. He played for the Brown. And
Orlando Brown played for the Browns.
Offensive lineman maybe? Anyway, I don't know if he's holding or what the story was with him, but this dude, he was hit in the eye by a penalty flag. I'm telling you, you got to check the video of it. And it ruined his career because he got hit. I'm telling you. So you think the refs don't do this, right? I mean, it's sad. I don't even want to make like a joke about it.
Are you trolling me right now? What's going on?
No, dude. I'm telling you, his name's Orlando Brown, and a ref went to go throw a flag, and instead of throwing it, away from everybody or whatever, and this guy was good. Orlando Brown was really good, right? He was a big dude. His nickname was Zeus. So instead of throwing a flag on the ground, you just have to drop a flag. Throw it in the air. You watch it, man. The ref comes in and he goes like this. He throws it and it through the face mask in the eye, inadvertent, right? But those flags, they're weighted. They're like little bean bags. They're not just like a yellow hanky that floats around.
Like a hacky sack.
It went, sort of like a hacky sack. And I'm telling you, the ref, went over to him. And what happened, what was amazing, you got to watch this video, man. So the ref goes over to Brown, who's holding his eye like this, and tries to apologize to him. And Brown just shoves the ref onto the ground. He throws him on the ground, right? And Brown got ejected from the game, suspended by the NFL, and obviously all that sanctions were lifted from him when the eye injury, the severity of it was that it was really known. But I mean, it was bad, man. He was out for years. I think he this happened in '99. I don't think he came back until 2002. And he didn't play that much. I think he was with the Ravens for a little while. But anyway, point is, refs impact games, man. It happens. Refs impact games. This guy he was almost blinded by a penalty flag. I feel bad laughing about it, but it's one of those, check out the video. I'm telling you. How do you... there are strange things that happen in sports, man. Randy Johnson killed a bird? Do you know that?
You've put my mind in a pretzel. I don't know what to say next. That's where I'm at.
Well, what strange thing have you seen happen in sports? Why don't we go there?
Literally last night, I saw a ref booty check a player, and I'm asking you if you could give some clarity.
And we are full circle.
You talked about a guy getting beanbagged in his eye. And
the refs get involved in crazy things happen in sports. You know what else was crazy? 40 points came in on the over last night pretty easily. 29-27. 29-27.
You're the guy.
If it's within two touchdowns. Listen, it was more than 2 touchdowns. I mean, 40 points came in. It was 16 points more. That's what I consider pretty easy, right? Like a last-minute score, and they just get the over. Okay, but 56 on a 40, that's pretty easy. Cheers.
I'm not going to argue with you, but you got to admit 30 points in the fourth quarter. I don't know if that's easy or hard.
When two scoring juggernauts get together like those two, the over was easy last night. I'm just going to say that. The over was. By the way, guys, anybody who's listening to this who does not pay attention to our Whatnot Sunday morning show, you might not be getting this joke. But we do some picks and some plays, and this was one of those talking points, one of those talking things. And Andrew was 100% right on the analysis. He was 100% right on the facts, on the fact that both of the teams score nothing. They have a hard time scoring points. And you saw, I think Chicago had 3 points at halftime. I think it was 14-7 at halftime, 14-3 at halftime, right? So, he was right. The Bears weren't going to score. But when someone is that right on the facts and someone is that right in their analysis, I just go the other way. And so far, I'm 2 for 2.
let's contextualize. So we got asked by Whatnot to create a cool, compelling show that no one else has done. So we're like, let's create a Sunday morning NFL show. I've been betting my whole life. That's actually kind of embarrassing to say. Now that I've said that out loud, I wish I could take that back. Cage knows football. And we're like, well, let's create like a Sunday morning show, slabs, spreads, daily fantasy. And in the beginning, I was super excited. And then I just started losing every single week. And it kind of became this thing of like, let's get on there and just fade everything that Andrew says. And the more confident he is, let's just fade him even more. And now we're 2-0. So it's
now it's 2-0.
It's
Both with Bears scoring. Because
yes.
the last time was the Bears and the Niners weren't going to score 40 points, and they scored like 60.
If Cage and I are like adamantly on the same side, go the other way.
Yes, do not bet that.
So it's not that we don't give winners. It just took us a little while to figure out the true strategy of how to figure out which is a winner, which is a loser. I think we're there.
Yeah, that's the deal. So yeah, refs' asses sometimes get in the way of the football game. All right,
Okay.
Back to that. Talk to me about OG Anunoby. Has a ref ever touched him with his ass?
You guys know this. I love players that develop their game, and that's what he's done. Like,
That's why you hate LeBron. He's the exact same player he was when he came out of high school.
he really freaking is. He really freaking is, and it's so frustrating. Like,
Oh, I'm gonna get you in trouble again.
no, I mean, he has flashes, but anyway, OG has worked on his game. I think he's improving. I think this Raptors team is really interesting because Nick Nurse is a great coach, and he's always overshadowed. He had that one coach of the year when they won the title and all that, but I think he's a good coach, and I think you get to see this like the Raptors development program of making players better year over year. Like the Vliet's better, Siakam's better, Scotty Barnes is a great addition, Gary Trent is good, and I think OG is going to be, if you look at his stats, he's going to be a 20 to 25, 28 point a game guy. And right now, I don't think that's where his cards are priced. I think his cards are still priced at like his 15 points a game. So I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar, but I definitely think if you look at his numbers and you look at his game and you look at his impact, the guy is good, man. The guy is good. The guy is on Zach LaVine like that level, and I think he's still priced like maybe 1, 2, 3 years ago. So that's my play. I might even just go like star stock A's or something like that.
I mean, I like it. He's had some big time performance, right? He hit the game winner for them, right, on their run, right? I mean,
he's a gamer. He's a gamer.
So, I mean, I like him. So before I get into my play, I do want to say card porn posts. Card porn posts out there, and they're calling people out in the whole 9 yards, and and let's just accept their last post that they're mostly positive and not as much negative. And when they do throw the negative out there, I don't think that they're trying to incite riots, guys. I don't think that the response from the hobby should be death threats towards the people that are being outed in the card porn posts. So let's keep that human here. Let's remember what we're all doing here. It's a little hobby, right? It's cardboard. I know there's big money involved. But do you see what I'm talking about? Or no?
It was selling spots to like breakers on their team or something like that.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
something
obviously,
so like no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, I understand the post, and the post was, if you're gonna break and do it square, don't let people who work for you get into your breaks, and don't buy the breaks yourself. I really don't have a problem with either of those things, right? I mean, I think that that's a good lesson, right? And to advise people who are in breaks that this is what a breaker is doing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. The reaction of, I mean, look. I haven't seen any of the DMs or anything like that, but it seems like the person who was outed was getting some pretty bad stuff sent their way. So let's remember what this is all about here, guys.
Breaking should be regulated, in my opinion, because it's very much like the slot machine. Like, you know what I realized? Not the hobby should be regulated. Just different components of the hobby need some oversight. So breaking is absolutely one of those, because like, I heard people like glue packs together. Like they open the packs, make sure that there's no hits, and then they put them back together. When you're doing it on camera, you could just position the pack in such a way that you can't even really tell. So it's such an interesting business. It's one of those businesses that I think to get paid and earn money, you should get a license. Like it's kind of like going and getting a dealer license. to deal blackjack. Does that make sense?
I mean, it's interesting. I don't know why that particular thing would be any different than anything else. I mean, how about owning a card store?
You do need a license. You have to go get it registered and have like the local municipality come out and approve all that stuff.
But not like a card specific license. That's just like a license to do business.
Reseller license, maybe.
Okay. I guess
I'll explain why. Because breaking such a low barrier to entry, anyone could be a breaker. Anyone could just buy a box of cards, say I'm going live, and break cards.
Breakers. Because I know there are some of you out there listen. Andrew just said anyone can do what you do. I'm sure that doesn't make you happy. Let him have it in the DMs. Message him in the DMs and tell him why it is that not anyone.
No, anyone could go out there could go out and play basketball, but not everyone's going to be LeBron, the 15th best player of all time.
Dude, you're just digging a hole. So Cole Anthony, right? So listen, a while ago, you would not find most improved category for sophomores. It used to be kind of like, the sophomores were not people who got considered. But
who calls these guys sophomores?
Sophomores. Sophomore campaign. Sophomore slump. You never heard that in sports?
Yeah, but like sophomore, like in college, these guys are pros, like sophomores.
You've never. Anyway, it's fine. So second-year players were often overlooked for MIP, but it's become kind of like the thing recently that it's like MIP has been, okay, which one of these rookies is going to take the leap? It doesn't necessarily have to be that, but that's coming into this year. The names that everybody heard for the most improved player category were Alex Pokusevski, Patrick Williams, right? Or who else? James Wiseman, maybe if he stay healthy. Emmanuel Quickly. All these guys who last year were like, all right, let's give them a chance. And maybe they'll take that step up. Maybe they'll take that step ahead, right? Nobody really talked about Cole Anthony, right? First of all, he's 6'2", which, taller than me, but not taller than most people in the NBA, right? Averaged 12.9 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 4.1 assists per game, right? But he had a thing, right? He last year in the 47 games he played, 39% from the field, 33% from three, right? And turned the ball over a little bit. You know what he's doing this year? Do you know what his numbers are right now? Besides hitting game winners and betting on himself and doing all that other crazy stuff, do you know what his numbers are? I mean, this guy, he is crushing it this year. Crushing it. Right? I mean, he's... I can numbers. So as you're looking at his numbers for this season, I'm looking at his cards, and they're starting to move up, right? So this is obviously not, the bargain of bargains. I'll tell you why I like him. When we did Top Shot, he was involved in it. The dude was like the epitome of bet on yourself. He was buying his own moments, basically saying, like, if you're not going to bet on yourself, like, who are you going to bet on? You know what I mean? Like this. And he's got that swag. He smiles. He hits a game winner. He hit a lot of game winners last year and already this year. He's hitting game winners, and he is, he gives some of the best interviews after.
He's got a persona. And honestly, Cage, I was so impressed seeing how they came back against the Jazz. That was it's an impressive win for a young team.
So 11 games, 20.2 points on 44% shooting from the field and 41% from deep. 84% free throw shooter, which is, it's a big deal nowadays, right?
Huge.
The free throw shooting, because a lot of people can't do it. Also improved 7.1 rebounds and 5.2 assists. Talk about a fantasy guy. I read an article about fantasy. I think right now he's like the 12th highest fantasy point scorer in the league. He's putting up over 20, 7, 5, and a steal. That's crazy. I think it's crazy. I mean, he's a little dude in Orlando that nobody really pays attention to unless you're knee-deep in cards. So if you're listening to this, you could still get his Prism base card on Star Stock or wherever it is. This was not something that made the cut for grading. Even his silvers didn't make the cut for people to send in for grading because of the costs. You want to spend a couple $100? I really like the blue out of 199 if you get a nicely centered one because it's a color match for the Orlando Magic. And, a couple of them, a couple of them sold recently tick up a little bit. But, I like that one. I'm not a fan of, like, the blue wave because there's a lot of them out there. Then there's, like, a blue, like, fast break disco one that's also numbered. But, those sell for less. But, But yeah,
This
man,
Magic team isn't far off, guys. So people forget Jonathan Isaacs out with an injury, Markel Fultz out with an injury. This is a really young, athletic, aggressive, competitive team that you have pieces to build around. So this 1-2 years away, this is a cool class, Cage, because we look at it when they came out, we didn't know who's the true one. Edwards, Lamella, Wiseman. And I think what's going to be cool is the word you used a few days ago, parity. I think
Yep.
you're going to see so much parity in this class, and it will take 5 to 7 years to know who's the true number one in this class. It's going to be fun.
Listen,
It's going to be fun.
with you. I'm with you on it. I mean, I still happen to. I mean, you don't see him, but I think Edwards is awesome. But
I watched the Wolves, man. They're a very poorly coached team. That's what worries me. And the way they play offense is they just play a lot of iso ball.
yeah, I mean, listen, but Edwards, I think, has what today's investment needs. He's got all the skills. He's got all the flash. He's got the highlights. You know what I mean? Somebody like Cole Anthony, to get that second thing, right? He doesn't have the size. He doesn't look like the part, but he's not going to have a game winner every day. Whereas Anthony Edwards is going to have like a flashy dunk over somebody's head almost every game.
What do you think? What card would you buy? Prism base
of Edwards?
No, of Cole Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Prism base on Star Stock and even on eBay or wherever else you get them is still pretty cheap because nobody knows what to do with it. You know what I mean? And if you're a believer in this guy, you're going to wait and hang on to those, a stockpile of them until there's some sort of a bulk from PSA, and that's the deal, right?
I
like Cole Anthony, right?
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, one sec. Just to finish on Cole Anthony, and then I'm sure you're going to get on the grading, right? So I was on Cole Anthony last year, and I remember giving him as a play, and obviously now he's turning around. But what I remember was that when the draft was happening, right, a couple years back, there were high schoolers who were being evaluated, and Kevin Durant was all over Cole Anthony. Said, yeah, the athleticism just had that it factor, and said, you know what, this guy's going to be big in the NBA when he finally gets here. And I remember they interviewed Durant after Orlando took him with the 15th pick. I remember talking about that, right? And you know what they say, right? It's like when a million people asked me to do a podcast, but I only said yes to you because game recognizes game.
I knew
that's the deal, right? So so talk about grading. Shoot.
You're hilarious, dude. You have to plan 3 to 6 months in advance when it comes to grading being open. And what I mean by that is you don't want to wait for the announcement to come for the surge of raw prices so that you have FOMO. And also think about that. Just think about this pattern of events. When PSA finally announces that they're going to open grading, no one's going to be selling good quality raw cards on eBay. They're going to all hoard those to send them in. So you have to get ahead of the curve. So you can't wait for PSA to reopen. You have to start using this period of time to buy underpriced raw cards and review them. And this is what I do. And this is why you have to prepare, I think, 3-6 months in advance. Like with Cole Anthony, with OG, you buy these lots of base or silver, you review them at home. The ones that you know that are gradable, set them aside. That's your pile. That's your retirement fund because you don't know when you're going to be able to use it, but you're going to be able to sub those in, and maybe in 2 years you get them back. Timing is right, whatever. The ones that you can't grade, you consign or you sell them right back into the market. It takes time to acquire 50, 100 cards that are good quality cards to grade, but that's what you should be using this next 3 months to do so that when PSA makes that announcement, you're not catching up, you're ahead of the curve.
All right, so question for you. When does PSA open up in full? Give me a month and a year.
Why is that relevant?
Because you're talking about having people prepare for when PSA opens up. It's sort of like the next logical question. Give them a kind of a, do they have a week? Do you think they're opening up Christmas? Do you think it's coming, first quarter of next year?
I think it's foolish to predict when I don't know, and the point of preparation isn't necessarily when something happens, it's whenever it happens, you're prepared, whether it's 1 month, 6 months, whatever. But I'll say they'll probably make an announcement February, March, open March, April. I'll say those months. Kind of cue springtime. People like making announcements in the spring. That's when everyone's happy again.
Makes sense. I will say this with PSA. Their Twitter's getting cooler. They're posting a lot more pictures of stuff they grade. I get to see some cool cards. I mean, it makes me mad every single time because it's not my cards. My cards have been sitting there for a year. But, this is a cool Montana Brady dual auto. Here's a cool LaMelo numbered out of 8 that got a PSA 10. There's only been 2 of them. Here's some cool hockey cards that we just came in. Like that. I like that. It's like I don't often go to the Museum of Natural History, even though I don't work that far from it. But it would be cool if every once in a while, like a 2-second, like, oh, look at this new exhibit in the museum. Here you go. Here's the woolly mammoth. Looks sort of like me. But
you know what I don't like?
No.
I don't like when modern day inserts outsell old inserts. Like the downtowns today, like of Kobe. Downtown inserts of players that don't even play anymore that outsell old school inserts, I think are insane.
So the headline of today's episode is Andrew doesn't like it when people go downtown. Interesting. Very.
Finally, let me just wrap this episode. Here's my play. So I told you guys to go buy the OG base cards on StarStock. Also take a look at his base Prism PSA 10. There's only 300 PSA 10s, and it's an $80 card.
So can I ask a quick question? What year is that?
17, Bam's year.
2017 Prism OG and an Obi.
341 PSA 10s. The last PSA 10 sold for 72, $80. There's not a lot of BGS here either, so low pop card, and he's someone who's gotten better year over year, and I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar, but there will come a conversation like with Zach LaVine where he's in that category.
By the way, before we leave, great stuff coming from you guys. Keep up the messages to me about who's helpful to you in the hobby, who gets shout outs in the hobby. Got another bunch today about Yam Wax, how he's the most generous guy and is always, sending stuff to folks and all the other cool stuff that he does. And love the messages, love that stuff. And so 100% keep that hobby positivity coming. I love that. You got anybody send you any positive messages?
Tons.
Yeah, you don't want to give anybody like a little positive shout out or anything like that. Nobody sticks out in your brain as like a hobby positivity.
Lead me to water. I don't know.
Hobby positivity. How about for you? How about you for bringing the positivity all the time, man?
Oh, you bring positivity to me.
No, you're the positive one.
Were you fishing for a compliment?
Not at all.
Not
at all. I thought you were going to make my day when you talked about how you don't like new inserts as opposed to old ones. I thought you were going to pan kabooms, and I was going to make this my new favorite episode, but you went downtown and you disappointed me. Well, so I will not pay you any compliments.
I'm okay with one lead over the pack, but like if they're all going up and I'm like, dude, these are like new school inserts. Like there's so many cooler, lower pop inserts from the 90s. So anyway, you're positive. I like you, Cage. Is that enough? Can we wrap the episode?
We can wrap, man. Positivity.
Guys, we have a lot of exciting stuff. I can't always keep it in my head. Maybe I'll do more show notes, but like we have a lot of fun stuff coming up. We're starting this new series with the Mint Collective called Innovators in the Hobby. We're gonna have some awesome guests. Kicking it off with 3 guys that I think have completely changed the game. No, like we all try to do it different. I think they really just actually do it different. And it's the Pac-Man, Peter Pac-Man, Rips, Javed Best. You guys know them. Music, good vibes, banter, humor. So we're going to have them on the show for the Mint Collective Innovators in the Hobby. We're going to do a little bit of that. It's going to be super fun. Shout out to the Collectible team for putting that on. Dude, I'm pretty positive. I feel good. I feel like our community over the last few days, we've really bonded. We get to know each other. The Discord's popping off. People are asking questions. I mean,
yeah, man.
A lot of people who bought Tigers also bought Ethereum. So that was at $2,600, and now Ethereum's sitting at $4,750. So that feels good because that's real money. What's cool about ETH and Bitcoin is when it goes up, you also are incredibly liquid, right? So with cards, it takes a little bit of time to sell. But when you have crypto and you bought it at 2,600, it was gone to 4,700. You could sell a little bit and kind of use it for your life. And I've been getting a lot of texts about that, like good call on ETH, good call on Bitcoin. So that feels good. I like to make people money. You made me
Hey,
money.
now. Let's go. Making the money. Thanks, everybody.